Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of A Light in the Dark. Now in the last episode, I learned that my kidnappers have an associate of theirs who was apparently providing them with at least some food and other supplies. Someone called Miss Wang. Now who exactly she is and what her relationship is to my kidnappers, I have no idea. Second, I've also confirmed the name of the younger girl, one of the kidnappers. That being Yiling Huang. After her big sister basically accidentally had a slip of the tongue and revealed her first name to me, and with another slip of the tongue she made back as far as the first day of the kidnapping, I was basically able to piece together her the little girl's full name. Now, if we could just get the older sister's first name, we could basically give names to both my kidnappers. Next up, I spent some time with the little girl while the older sister, not the little girl, with Yiling, while the older Huang sister decided to go take care of some business. And, well, I learned that Yiling has a pretty big sweet tooth. She likes desserts, like a lot. And that one of her life's dreams is just simply to just go on a foodie tour, basically, for Big Sister. And I pretty much am hoping that if by some insane miracle everything works out for everybody in the end, that Hao-Chen here can just take these two to a fancy restaurant and just eat some delicious cake or something. While, you know, everybody has a new start, has a new beginning for themselves. Whether or not that'll actually happen, I have no idea, but I'm trying to be hopeful, despite how grim things are getting. Which is a perfect segue to me discussing the last thing that occurred in the last episode. And the short of it is, the ransom, it apparently was a bust. And I got beaten the shit out for my troubles as a result. So what's going to happen to me? I have no freaking idea. Maybe a miracle will occur and everything will work out for everybody. I have no idea. I'm just trying to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And if necessary, go back in time a little bit and make a different decision or two. That will influence things to a better outcome. So, yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen here for day 6. But since the ransom is apparently not going through, I'm pretty certain that something big is going to happen for sure, one way or the other. So let's just go ahead and just find out what exactly that's going to be. Day 6, morning. It was morning, and I got an updated note. I should check out the bathroom after hearing the sound from it last night. Bathroom? Did I hear sound from the bathroom last night? Well, apparently I did, so I guess I might as well just go and check it. I didn't sleep well. The continuous series of incidents and the pain in my body made it difficult to fall asleep. I heard arguments and the sound of things getting smashed in my half-asleep state, but I didn't notice anything off in the room. Probably the big sis smashing stuff up in anger, if I had to guess. Tisk. The taste of blood in my mouth was nauseating, and all my muscles seemed to be twitching in pain. I staggered to my feet and tried to go rinse my mouth in the bathroom, but instead I lost my balance and fell to the floor. I gave up and just left myself lying on the floor, feeling my chest upheaving through deep breathing. Every heartbeat reminded me of the fact I was still alive. Hey, you're here. Are you going to apologize for beating the shit out of me? Bit unlikely, but I mean, hey, maybe there's a chance. Make love, not war. Yeah, I wasn't sure if she just woke up early or didn't sleep at all, but the girl was leaning against the window with half a burning cigarette in her hand. She just gave me a look when I fell down. The air was so heavy that no one bothered to say anything. Time flew. Even the cigarette spark started to fade. Another cigarette was lit, and then it was out. The repetition continued until the whole pack was gone. Well, if there's one thing I don't mind being wasted, it's cigarettes. Anything to eat? My voice apparently shocked the girl, who immediately tensed her body up like an alarmed cat and jumped out of her chair. I was too scared to make any sound. She stared at me briefly before giving a long sigh while supporting her head. With bags under her eyes, she didn't even bother to complain. Still thinking about food? Are you nuts? Nothing is more important than food. I beg to differ. Oxygen is more important than food. No one knew what would happen next. I didn't have the spare energy to think about anything else but the present. Really? Would getting fed solve the problem? She threw the bread at me with a self-deprecating smile on her face. It's not oxygen, but I'll take it. Okay, so I need to observe the bathroom. Hey, they're both here. Anything different at all? Okay, let's go to the bathroom. I guess that would explain what's different. Let's check the shards on the ground. There are tons of shattered glass shards on the floor. I might get hurt by them if I'm not careful. I've tried playing with shattered glass before. My nan nagged me for the whole afternoon after finding my hand covered in blood. Hey, that doesn't count as a single action? Shattered by violence, the mirror would no longer reflect anyone's face. I wasn't expecting to see running water from the faucet. Oh shit, I wasted all my actions! Fuck! Ah, fuck it. I'm gonna have a... Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna have a do-over. Okay, this is gonna be the only time I'm ever gonna do that. Just have a random do-over like that. From this point on, I'm just gonna live with whatever bad decisions I make. Or even good decisions. Okay, I looked at the thing. I don't know. Let's observe the window. You can see the sky from the window. I should be able to collect more information if I can get closer. It is not locked. However, since this place doesn't appear to be on the first or second floor, jumping out of the window is a no-go. This makes the door the only exit out of here. Note updated. Hey, well. Based on the height from the window, jumping out of it would be unlikely. Well, good to know, I guess. Let's talk to the older Huang. What do you plan to do next? So what do you plan to do next? Don't know. She replied without a second thought. Her expression was so deadpan I couldn't even tell if she was joking. Maybe the money will come in soon. She stole a glance at me and snorted in displeasure. Stop saying things that even you don't believe. I'm not some 3-year-old. I do hope he sends the money over soon, though. Noticing the helplessness and seriousness in my voice, she didn't retort as usual, and only quietly turned her head. Then pray harder. After a while, the little girl woke up as well. She sat up slowly on the bed. She looked at her sister first, then to me, then lowered her head helplessly. What got updated, exactly? She said nothing even after seeing her sister's abuse. She just sat there quietly folding paper. Maybe I should try talking to her? Whether it was her sister yelling at her or shaking her fist with an insane, nasty face, these all must be unfamiliar to her. She thought everything was under control. She thought if she listened to Big Sis, there would be money. Now she realized things were out of control. Not only would there be no money coming, they might have to face the penalty. The bubble of fantasy popped, leaving only the terrifying reality that made people uncomfortable. Have some food. The girl passed the breakfast to her sister. The little girl raised her head and looked at her big sis, hoping to hear some words of encouragement or explanation. But there was nothing. The girl just leaned against the wall without a word. There were too many things to think about, and her sister's feelings were the least of her concerns. The little girl didn't ask anything. She knew no one could answer her question. Or perhaps she already knew the answer. She started to make paper cranes after finishing the sandwiches. Her mechanical movements held no meaning. There would never be enough cranes to pay off the debt without the ransom. She knew that too. But that was all she could do to support her sister. Nothing more. Stop making me depressed, game. It was said that making 1,000 paper cranes would pass your wish to the divine. Looking at all the cranes on the floor, I wondered if her wish had been heard. Well, I certainly heard it. And I'm gonna do everything I can to make it come true. Let me look around a bit more first. I should probably just try to talk. Why don't you try to escape? What do you want to say? I was interrupted by the girl when I tried to talk to her little sister. She warned me coldly. If you have something to say it to me. Don't talk to her without my permission. The young girl raised her head and stole a glance at me, but immediately went back to folding papers after hearing Big Sis's words. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Do you live here? Why do you ask? She didn't answer directly, but carefully asked back. After I managed to trick her a few times, she got more and more careful when talking to me, fearing to reveal more information. I saw toothbrushes and glasses in the bathroom, so I thought you might live here. What do you think? I think only homeless people would find this place attractive. Ha! Hearing my honest answer, she covered her mouth and giggled in a bit of mockingly manner. We're not that far off from being homeless, just slightly more fortunate. I don't know, let's just observe the curtains, maybe? The ink green curtain is covered in thick dust, most likely having gone unwashed for a long time. I couldn't even tell what the original color was. It is for concealing light in the room at night. It makes creaking sounds every time someone pulls it. However, if there is a need to conceal the light, does it mean there is someone else nearby? I might be just wasting actions here, I'm afraid. I have no idea what it will spell for me. But I must keep my word. I gotta see this shit through, even if I make a wrong decision here or there. Hey. I was dozing off against the wall. She was next to me when I raised my head to her voice. I'm going to call your dad. Cooperate if you don't want to get another beating. This was the first time she had struck up a conversation with me since yesterday. She seemed to have made up her mind, judging by her determined tone. Fine. She probably didn't expect me to play nice like this, and started to examine me top to bottom with a surprised expression. I can go home as soon as he pays, right? I want to get this over with ASAP. We share the same goal here. You seem to get it. I don't care how much he has to pay. I'll just see it as compensation for ignoring me. How much is that worth? Her lips formed into a rare smile. She started to press the buttons on the phone. It was so fast, as though not giving herself time to regret. The little girl stopped her movements and held her breath for the upcoming developments. It was connected. Hey, Daddy! See what happens when you ignore me for years on end? I bet you're feeling like a moron right now, aren't you? Where is the money? The girl talked into the phone coldly. Anyone could sense the suppressed anger in her voice. Stop playing tricks with me. I still have your son. Do you really think I won't kill him? She was pulling her messy hair and biting her lips so hard that blood was close to oozing out. There was also a sense of panic in her tone. Unlike the careful negotiation process in movies, this was more like an emotional venting session. Don't give me that crap! She got more and more agitated, and eventually an angry fist landed on the desk, almost bumping everything to the floor. The little girl looked at her big sis. I could see the fear in her black eyes. Her two hands were stiffly blocking her chest, as though to protect herself. As an accomplice, she didn't have the courage to ask. She could only wait for her next instruction from her sister. Cowardice. Weakness. One could probably accuse the little girl of these things. Well, what could anyone expect her to do in this situation? However, relying on her sister was her only way of living. The girl walked towards me suddenly and pressed the phone against my ear after turning on the speaker. Tell your dad to pay now. No funny business or you will be in trouble. Are you alright, Hao-Chen? There was a deep voice from the other side of the phone. I responded absent-mindedly, not sure what to say at that instant. Not due to familiarity or sentimental feelings, but more from the sense of distance between the two of us. Compared to father, even the kidnappers felt a little closer to me. You know, that's honestly really depressing to think about. That you're closer to your kidnappers than your own father. Don't worry. We are taking care of this. Things will be fine. If you really cared about me, why haven't you paid? The words got stuck in my throat and I could feel my reluctance to speak up slowly fading. Whereas the fear of being kidnapped, the pain in my body, or the illness that weakened me, I survived all of it. Yet his voice alone made me want to scream. We're gathering the money, but the amount is too high, and we need more time. Stop lying. What did you say? Hao-Chen, are you okay? Stop this crap. Just transfer the money if you still want to see your son alive. Noticing my abnormal actions, she grabbed the phone and spoke mockingly. Don't tell me a CEO can't get his hands on a few million Taiwan dollars. I know what you are playing at here. I am warning you. If you don't transfer the money by midnight tonight, this will be the last time you ever hear your son's voice. Not giving him a chance to respond, she hung up the phone without hesitation. Bastard. After throwing the phone on the desk, she saw the scared look on the little girl's face, as though asking what to do. She took a deep breath and managed to form a smile. It's okay. It'll be over soon. Okay. I don't think she believes you. She tried to comfort her sister, but didn't seem to have that much confidence herself either. She pulled out the chair and took out a cigarette with a trembling hand. Noticing my stare, she hid her trembling left hand. What are you looking at? Better pray for your dad to pay soon if you're scared. I want that too. Having probably never thought of this turn of events, she couldn't do anything but threaten me. She wanted this to be over as much as I did. All these risks were for the money. Without that ransom, the hostage was just a burden. If she really couldn't get the ransom, her best option was to escape rather than waiting for the police to come. So how could I convince her to give up? Weren't you overreacting back there? Trying to start a fight with your dad or something? His voice pissed me off. You didn't care about me, you only acted like a good dad now. And in the end, he still refused to pay. He could at least have done a better job faking that. Prioritizing money over your own son. You guys are fucked up. Yeah, those really are some skewed priorities. Unless maybe he really is trying, unless he really was being honest and just wasn't that easy for him to somehow gain up a few million Taiwan dollars. Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know, but still. Unable to hide her exhaustion, she supported her head while mumbling. I didn't get it either. I thought the world was a delicate machine. It moved as it was designed, and we all took great pride in it. Speak for yourself. Yet ever since my mother's affair, I learned the machine was not as perfect as I had imagined. And I only discovered more problems the older I got. The rusty pieces were hard to use, and the worn cogs were making strange sounds. The once great machine looked like a stupid pile of scrap. That's right. The world is far from perfect. And we all live in this imperfect world, struggling for survival. Nighttime, huh? And it's raining. If there's any kind of dramatic scene that's going to happen, it's probably going to occur now while it's raining. I could hear drops of rain outside the window, which then turned into a shower, turning the window into a water curtain. The temperature was lower now. Even with a coat, I could feel the cold sneaking in through the neckline. The window was covered in mist. The girl paced back and forth before the window. It was long past the transfer time. Any money transferred wouldn't be visible until tomorrow. Well, Dad, you had one chance to impress me, but you fucked even that up, even now when your son's life was on the line. Unless you're dropping the money off in a steel briefcase by drone or something. What the hell, Dad? What the hell? We could only wait. Some we'd done a lot the past few days. No matter how long it was, this wait was still hard to deal with. So be it. I heard her mumbling when she stopped pacing. Keep an eye on him. I'll be right back. Wait, what if they got snipers outside the door? And they're just using the rainfall as cover. They managed to track your location. Maybe that's why there's no transfer. Maybe they're setting up an ambush. The girl left this instruction before heading out of her phone. I had no idea who she was going to call. There was no other option but to surrender or escape. How many have you made? I got a chance to talk to the little girl. I saw her nimbly fold and twist the paper. The finished cranes had piled into a small mountain next to her feet. I don't know. Her movements didn't slow down while talking. She pointed to the colored paper next to her. There will be 1,000 once these are all finished. Let me help. I was bored anyway, so I took out a colored paper to help. It was difficult. I had forgotten how to make a paper crane, so I could only try to copy her steps. My hands weren't really nimble. She had already made a ton of them by the time I finished one. Even though we followed the same steps, my crane looked super lousy. Even the head was all wrinkled together. Your crane is ugly. No need to state the obvious, man. I didn't know when she stopped her movements. Looking at my crane in its sorry shape, she gave an honest comment. There's no way I'd make one as good as yours in my first attempt. Also, my hands are tied. My first was still better than yours. You're making me feel very inadequate right now. Big deal. Just treat this one as crippled or something and the next one. Huh? I tried to grab another paper and saw her take my completed work and unfold it. This wouldn't work. Really? It's still a paper crane, albeit an ugly one. You can't make a wish out of this? Never. I guess the divine doesn't like, I guess in the world of divine, there is no room for ugly paper cranes. That's not fair. Ugly paper cranes deserve love too, you know. She responded plainly. Her determined look left no space for negotiation. It's pointless if not done correctly. It's pointless if not done correctly. The broken paper crane could be fixed. What about broken people? Why does God make everyone different? Wouldn't there be far less arguments if there was only one kind of person? Maybe so, but it'd be one hell of a boring world if everyone was exactly the same. This thought came to my mind before I remembered a more important matter. Getting out of this conundrum. Hey, do you think you can convince your sister? I didn't have much time, so I got right to the chase. Convince Big Sis. You know how messy this has become, right? You might get arrested if this keeps going. You wouldn't be able to escape by then. I talked to her with all the sincerity I could muster. I hoped all the accumulated trust was enough to make her believe in me. Just let me go and I'll hand you all my money. I can also mislead the search. You just need to convince her. Convince me of what? The girl interrupted my sentence and stepped into the room. You heard that too, right? If you let me go. I tried to make my point for her directly, but she just pushed me aside and walked to her sister. Save it. I have something to tell her. There was no hesitation in her look. She seemed to have made an important decision. Giving up? Knowing there was no chance to get the ransom, she decided to escape with her sister. The little girl obediently walked towards her sister, with unease on her raised face. Go home now. I'm gonna die. Simple words, both a major implication. The little girl didn't move and couldn't make any sound despite having her mouth opened. Go to Miss Wang's place. I've told her about it. But... She tried to plead for an explanation, but all she got was an impatient response. And never come back here. Got it? I'm gonna fucking die. What about Big Sis? The little girl helplessly squeezed out these words. She couldn't even ask why, and could only wait like a convict before the judgment was passed. I'll figure something out. There's no need of you here. She said the words coldly and tried to avoid the girl's gaze. Can I stay here? Not able to get her desired answer, she sadly lowered her head and pleaded with a tiny voice. There is no time. She shook her head and sighed. Ignoring her sister, she started to pick up the paper cranes and pack them up. 1, 2, 3. She held up the paper cranes, and with a simple movement, they all fell into the plastic bag. Never come back here. Just ask Miss Wayne for anything. Help out as much as you can. Don't cause her trouble. Come on. Don't let this be the end. This doesn't have to be goodbye. There was no energy behind those words. The two fell silent. I could only hear raindrops echoing in the empty room. The slender hands, colorful paper cranes, and the echo of the rain. She picked up the last one and threw it easily into the bag. When the moment came that there were no more cranes to pick up, so would the moment of separation. Time stopped. Thousands of words seemed to be exchanged within this silence. When you spend enough time with someone, many things could be communicated without being said. Whether they were good things or things you wanted to hide away. Big sis. The little girl's voice was trembling. The girl's voice was light and soft. Will you come back? Seriously, please, for the love of God, this doesn't have to be goodbye. The girl paused and didn't answer. Whether she couldn't or didn't want to, it had the same meaning. Her long hair covered her face, and I couldn't see her expression. Yet her upheaving chest revealed her struggle. I don't care what happens, as long as I am with Big Sis. As long as I am with Big Sis. Can't I? Facing her sister's pleading, the girl didn't say a word. The two looked at each other. A tear slid down the little girl's face and left a mark on the floor. What are you crying for? I'm not dead or anything. The girl lightly patted her head with a soft smile on her face. Take care of yourself. I'll be back when this is over. Seemingly losing the power of speech, the girl just nodded, yet the tears didn't stop falling. Off you go now. It's late and it's raining. Watch that you don't slip when you're walking, okay? The little girl didn't move until her sister gave her a push, gesturing for her to leave quickly. Before leaving, the little girl gave me a look. I could sense the despair and pleading in her eyes. What did she want me to do? Ask her to give up? Or convince my father to pay? I could do neither. All I could do was wait. Okay, what do I got? I said, what do I got? Don't close it. Her look before I left seemed to ask me to do something. Well, if I can't ask Daddy of One here to pay, and I can't ask Sister to give up, then I gotta take a third option. I was left alone in the room, accompanied only by the rain as I listened to the sound of them walking down the stairs, and awaited the end. After sending her sister off, the girl returned to the room, shook off the raindrops on her coat, and sat back in the wooden chair and thought. She appeared to be much calmer after making up her mind. She tilted her head and looked at the rainy night outside the window. Her lowered eyelids gave out a sense of serenity. No smoking? What? You want one too? Nope. I thought there would be scolding or teasing, so her plain reaction was unsettling. Why are you making that face? I thought you would be mad. What's the point of getting mad? Waving her knife, she seemed to be more direct about her sister's presence. If beating you would make your dad pay, you would have been beaten to death by now. Not really convincing from someone who beat the crap out of me yesterday. Shut up. After contemplating, I figured out now would be the best time. Talking to her one-on-one without concern. Hey. Can you just be quiet? I have a proposal. Not interested. Just let me finish. Hearing her unhesitating rejection, I sighed awkwardly. It was as though seeing her smirk somehow made me feel a little more relaxed. 03. Where did I get the 1 from? 037533162. Huh? My debit card password. The one in my bag. What's that for? Her dark eyes stared at me in confusion. She tried to figure out my intention. There's about 700 to 800K in the account. Take all the money in it. You can drag me there if you think it's a trick. The situation had changed since the first time I brought up that proposal. She didn't have a better option. She knew the chance of getting the ransom was low. That was why she had let her sister leave first to keep her out of trouble. Go wherever you want once you get the money. You can just untie me and leave me here too. You want money, right? It isn't much, but that's still more than the millions of Taiwan dollars she would never get. Fearing that I might trigger her pride, I hesitated on what to say. Still better than going to jail. She had guessed my thought from my hesitation. Finishing my sentence for me, she burst into laughter. I could see a strange light in her eyes. What's that? Are you pitying me now? No, it's not that. Since it had come to this, I didn't even bother to sugarcoat my words. I decided to tell her my true thoughts. Alright, we're going for complete and brutal honesty here, ladies and gentlemen. Come hell or high water, we're gonna see something happen. All my understanding from days of interactions and questions that troubled my mind. Why can some people hire a private tutor, while they didn't even have a chance to take classes? Why can some people talk about delicacies when they don't even have the money to have a proper meal? You're right. Society is unfair. I repeated her favorite line. There was no emotion, just a factual statement. Rich people can hire tutors, and the countryside doesn't even have enough schooling. Some people have parents who figure out their career path. They can become managers regardless of their capability or personality, while others will never climb up the ladder. They keep saying there is no discrimination based on upbringing. Everyone has a chance through effort. So-and-so started a whole business on their own. But it has nothing to do with effort. Why would some people have to put in more effort to succeed? Where's the fairness in that? If I didn't have enough food and had to deal with debt, I might have done the same as you. I wasn't trying to justify the crime, but perhaps people didn't have the right to condemn them from higher ground. They kept saying things like, "Why is society so messed up?" or "You shouldn't commit crimes no matter what," but refused to help them. They attributed all their successes to effort, while all their failures came from their environment or luck. It was nothing but arrogance when those people who lived a carefree life condemned others for committing crimes for the sake of survival. I am just lucky. I shrugged and concluded. I didn't kill or rob someone. Not because I have a better sense of justice or integrity, but because I am lucky enough not to have to make that choice. If I could just talk. Probably never expected me to say all these things. She looked at me, speechless. The lamp cast a light on her face. She wanted to say something, but after a while she just sighed. What's the point of saying all this? So even if you realize it, what would that change? Or do you think saying that will make me feel better? I'm just telling you my perspective. You don't want this life, right? You want to live with your sister, right? Her body shook at the mention of her sister. In the end, family was the one thing she couldn't let go of. I don't know your past. No one would end up becoming a kidnapper if they had the choice. You should hide once you get the money. I won't tell anyone about this. They wouldn't even know even if I just bullshit everything. No way it would go that smoothly. Still better than waiting to be arrested here. I directly interrupted her. She didn't retort. I think the cops will keep looking for you, so you have to figure something out. I shrugged and told her the truth. Kidnapping was a public prosecution crime. There would be trouble no matter what I said. Do you trust me? The sound of rain started to die down. There was only silence in the room. I could tell the girl was struggling next to the window. When I proposed this to her, she said she couldn't trust me. She had no insurance in letting me go. She couldn't do anything if I broke the promise. The only condition for this deal to work was that she could trust me. I initially didn't feel there was much to tell these people who were nothing but rich-hating whiners. However, I realized we weren't that different. except in our upbringing and education. We could still understand each other through communication. I believe in you. Holy shit. She believes me! I finally heard her response amidst the ring. But it's too late for that. There was determination in her cold voice. Different from her initial look of panic, she now seemed to be as calm as a lake's surface. Too late. Noticing my expression of disappointment, she smiled and turned her face back to the window. I said it before, didn't I? It was too late since a long, long time ago. My tensed-up body fell backward like a broken spring. All the hyped-up emotion cooled down instantly, as if I'd been drenched in cold water. It is far more frustrating to successfully convince someone, but not be able to change anything, than not convincing someone at all. Ain't that the fucking truth? I didn't know what her goal was. Why wasn't she willing to concede, knowing there would be no chance to get the money? She couldn't wait any longer before the police came. She should just trust me and wait till everything has blown over. I yawned tiredly. I hadn't been doing much, but the emotional roller coaster and illness had made me exhausted. Just sleep. Noticing my tired expression, she covered herself in a blanket, turned off the light, and sat next to the door. It became pitch black in the room. There was no starlight or road lamp. I couldn't even see the room clearly. I decided to break the silence. Please don't just pack me up and dump me on top of a mountain. What a great idea! I'll keep that in mind. If you're gonna do it quick. I'd rather die instantly than suffer through it. You're such a weirdo. That's not a compliment. It isn't. Both of us fell silent. The rain started to get heavy again, as though it was never going to end. Still awake? I didn't hear her response, but I could feel her gaze somehow. Let me know if you change your mind. Right. I heard that nonchalant response after a moment of silence. I could vaguely see her through the darkness, sitting against the wall and facing me. I could see that her eyes were looking somewhere past me, far, far away. In that instant, I wanted to know. What kind of future did those pupils reflect? Well, how about that? A title drop. A light in the dark. What an utterly shitty situation, I gotta say. Although that it really is the cold reality of it. Say that you do get the ransom money, or hell, even money from Hao-Shen's personal account. Then what? They're going to have to go into hiding probably for the rest of their lives. What will be the point of getting all that money in the end if you can no longer have if you can not even hope to have the normal better life that you were hoping to get from it after acquiring that money? It would just be it would be a hollow victory in the end. And what if either of them got arrested or something? What then? The world really is unfair. I really think that line sums up this story perfectly. So, a light in the dark. A full week will have passed. Maybe that is the final day. I made it this far. I think I'll save the final day for the next, at least what I'm assuming is the final day, for the next episode. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I really don't. I mean, I have no idea if, again, I still don't know if some kind of miracle is going to happen, or if reality will just come crashing down on everything and just deliver a somewhat unpredictable result. I have no idea. Part of me is honestly dreading what's going to happen in the next episode. But I gotta see this thing through to the end. Still, I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of A Light in the Dark. If you did and you want to see more content from me, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. I guess I'll see you all for the final episode of A Light in the Dark, or whatever next video I produce, whichever you decide to go check out next. Take care.